Once upon a time, in a busy city filled with noise and endless distractions, there lived a man named Marcus. Marcus was not so different from you or me. He had a job, a family, and dreams of his own. But there was one problem. He often struggled with making decisions. Small choices, like what to eat for breakfast, would leave him paralyzed. Big choices, like changing jobs or moving to a new place, filled him with fear. He felt lost, as if every decision carried the weight of the world. One evening, after another long day of second-guessing himself, Marcus sat alone in his small apartment. He stared at the bookshelf, his eyes stopping on an old, dusty book. It was called Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. He had bought it years ago, but never read it. That night, feeling desperate for answers, he picked it up and began to read. As Marcus turned the pages, he discovered something surprising. The ancient Stoics, philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, had faced struggles similar to his own. They too had to make difficult choices, but they did so with calm and clarity. Marcus wondered, could their wisdom help him? He decided to learn more about Stoicism and how it could improve his decision-making. The first lesson he learned was about control. The Stoics taught that some things are within our power, and some are not. Worrying about things outside our control only brings suffering. Marcus realized he often wasted energy stressing over outcomes he couldn't change, like traffic, other people's opinions, or unexpected setbacks. Instead, he began focusing only on what he could control, his own thoughts, actions, and choices. This simple shift made decisions feel lighter. If something was beyond his control, he accepted it. If it was within his power, he acted with purpose. Next, Marcus learned about perspective. The Stoics practiced something called Premeditatio malorum, imagining the worst-case scenario before making a choice. At first this seemed pessimistic, but Marcus soon saw the wisdom in it. By facing his fears head-on, he realized that even the worst outcomes were survivable. If he lost his job, he could find another. If a relationship ended, he would heal. Fear no longer stopped him from making bold decisions, because he had already confronted the worst in his mind. Another Stoic tool Marcus adopted was the practice of pausing. The ancient philosophers believed that emotions often cloud judgment. When angry, afraid, or excited, people make impulsive choices they later regret. Marcus began taking a moment to breathe before deciding anything. He asked himself, "Is this decision driven by reason or emotion?" If it was emotion, he waited until his mind was calm. This small habit saved him from many mistakes. Marcus also discovered the power of virtue. The Stoics believed that the best decisions are those aligned with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. Instead of asking, "What will make me happy?" Marcus started asking, "What is the right thing to do?" This shifted his focus from short-term pleasure to long-term integrity. Choices became clearer when he measured them against his values, rather than fleeting desires. Over time, Marcus noticed a change. Decisions that once felt overwhelming now felt manageable. He no longer feared mistakes because Stoicism taught him that failure was just another lesson. He stopped seeking perfection and instead aimed for progress. His relationships improved because he communicated with honesty and patience. His work thrived because he acted with focus rather than distraction. But the real test came when Marcus faced his biggest decision yet, a chance to move to another country for a new job. In the past, he would have agonized for weeks, torn between fear and excitement. But now, he used Stoic principles. He examined what was within his control, preparing for the move, researching the new role, and discussing it with his family. He imagined the worst-case scenarios, feeling lonely, failing at the job, regretting his choice, and realized he could handle them. He paused to ensure his decision wasn't driven by fear or ego. And finally, he asked himself, "Is this the virtuous choice? Does it align with my growth and purpose?" With a calm mind, Marcus made his decision. He accepted the job and embraced the unknown. There were challenges, of course, but he faced them with the same Stoic tools that had guided him this far. Years later, looking back, he saw that Stoicism hadn't just improved his decision-making, it had transformed his life. And so, dear listener, if you find yourself struggling with choices, big or small, remember Marcus's story. The wisdom of the Stoics is not just for ancient times. It is a practical guide for anyone seeking clarity, courage, and peace in a chaotic world. The next time you face a difficult decision, ask yourself, what can I control? What is the worst that could happen? Am I acting from reason or emotion? What is the virtuous choice? The answers may not always be easy, but they will lead you toward a life of purpose. And that perhaps is the greatest decision of all.